Going live. And we're live. Hi, everybody. This is Patrick. I'm here in smoky Portland, Oregon, and we're so excited. The conference is going really well. We've had over half the people who have registered and taken a ticket have come through and checked it out. I'm going to give you a little introduction to our next presenter, but I wanted to mention a few things. First of all, this is being captioned. And if you're looking at the stage, it would be so fun right now for everyone who's listening to just type a comment in the stage chat. Just say, hello, hi, say where you're at. It really helps us know who's out there and helps you realize that there's lots of amazing people here. And also, that's a great way for you to communicate with our next presenter. Ask any questions in that chat, and I'll be fielding them and feeding them back to her in the background. At the top of the stage chat, you'll see a link there for stream text. That's our captioning service. And it's really amazing, actually. This helps people who have limited hearing be able to participate in the conference as well. But also, if you're a limited English proficient speaker, a limited English speaker, you can follow that, and that can help your understanding of the conference as well. So that's really cool. We really appreciate that. Terry's back there doing that work, and she types so fast, it's unbelievable. You can see those words come through like as they're being spoken. Huiju Chen says, "Hi, I'm from Smoky, Oregon too. So welcome to the conference, Huiju." Couple other things. After the conference, I'll say more. I'll come back on and kind of direct you where to go from there. But there is Estefania will be in her booth for a little bit. You can ask her questions directly. This will also be promoted after the conference, so you can share it around. You know, we're all at home, and Estefania's children are in the background because that's how we roll these days. And so you may get an extra panelist for the same price. And then we just want to encourage you to, you don't need to leave the conference. We're going all 3 days, so you can just open a browser on your desktop, keep it open there. And Beatrice is out in the audience. Hey, Beatrice, and Beatrice will actually be our next presenter in a couple hours, and that's going to be really amazing. We just checked in with Beatrice from Uganda. So you can just keep a browser open and just stay and hang out with us all day long. Come and check out the expo booths and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Estefania now. Estefania Krogulec is from Buenos Aires, Argentina. She's a teacher of English and has a BA in English language. She's currently working as the International Liaison Officer for the Ibero-American network of Anglia examinations, and we're going to learn a lot about that. And take it away, Estefania.
Hi, thank you, Patrick. Good morning to everyone who is this side of the continent, of the world. Good evening or very early morning for the rest. And I'm sorry about that. I'm going to shut every noisy background. As Patrick said, I'm at home working since March, since the pandemic broke out. And maybe you'll hear my husband or my son who are right behind me. And that's life these days, and we've gotten used to it. And today what I want to do is share a bit of my daily work and how Anglia examinations, well, the Ibero-American network means that we operate in Spain and Latin America as well, and how things have had to be adapted to this new reality we're living. So I'm going to do very quickly like a presentation of what Anglia is and what we have been doing these past few months. And then I'm going to be open to your questions and to your suggestions and to your ideas. And that's what I hope to get from this whole event. I have been at all the sessions. I saw Justin yesterday talking about disability, very early this morning about education in the USA. So I'm going to just jump to my presentation, if that's okay. And so you know what Anglia is about. So that's Chichester College. The Anglia examinations is an exam board, an international exam board. We provide qualifications in English for students worldwide. We were born in Cyprus in 1985 and have been operating in the rest of the world. As the years went by, we realized that many countries were interested in our offer. Many countries needed an international qualification for their English language, and because it's needed. And we appeared in Argentina in 1997, 1996 actually. And you'll see how in 2010 there were more countries, and this is Anglia right now. As I mentioned, we are in Spain and all those Latin American countries. I'm sure many of you live there. That's where we are. Our main goal, and I think this presentation is perfect for us, because we act global and we think local. Even though we operate in so many countries, we try to tailor our work to every single country we are in. So we like to know people by their names, we like to know our institutions, and we want to give them the best we can give them. So what do we offer? Examinations, professional development, and study trips. Some things have been easy to adapt through this pandemic, some have been harder, but we have been able to do everything like this. As I mentioned, this is where we operate. So, examinations. What is it that we offer? Basically, exams for people who want to qualify their English level. We have general English exams, business English exams, exams for adults, exams for translators, exams for teachers. And this is how it usually operated. The exams came from our office in Chichester College in England, and they came to our office in Buenos Aires, and we made sure everyone in Latin America received their qualification. How? Going to schools. Students would sit their paper-based exams. We would go to the center, to the school, to the English Language Institute or Language Academy, and we would test the students, the written part, the speaking part. And what happened? We weren't able to go this year, so we had to change all that. How? We turned our exams online. Now we have our the whole suite of exams through computer. So from the UK straight to everyone's homes, living room, office. You don't need to go to an exam center. You don't need to go to school. You can still have your qualification from the comfort and safety of your home. Study trips. That was a bit tricky because we used to bring people from all Latin America to Chichester College. That's Chichester. And people had to take a plane, arrive in London, in Heathrow Airport, and then go to college, and they weren't able to do so. So what did we do? We organized the virtual study trip to Chichester. So this way, all these people were able to do their courses from their homes and to still participate in social activities. Of course, they're not going to have these pretty pictures from Trafalgar Square, but they still had the chance to interact with people from all over the world and have international relationships. And to encourage that, we came up with these exchanges. We have been having different meetings between students from different parts of the world, not only from the Latin American region. We've even had a meeting with a school in Shanghai in China. The time difference was crazy. And from Peru, we've had with Uruguay, we've had with Mexico, and I think this was amazing because we wouldn't have been able to gather so many people together in the same screen now, not in the same room, if everyone wasn't at their houses. If they had to go to work or to school or to college, time would have been different. And right now we were able to do this because of COVID. So this was a good result of that. You see, you can find me. It's like, where's Waldo? I'm there in the pictures. Professional development. Well, we are attending right now an online conference. We used to have these kinds of conferences with a room full of people, speaker giving a presentation. I would be on the stage wearing a microphone, and the people would be there listening to me, taking notes, and participating as an audience. So what did we do? We changed all this to the online screen, and we were able to offer all these different webinars to our members. We would never have been able to put so many people in the same room as we have been doing right now. And we are preparing now for our first e-congress. So instead of a room full of people, we hope to have a screen full of pictures of people this next October and November. And we wonder, what will the future bring? And this is when I'm going to stop sharing my screen and just talk to you about my future plans, your future plans, and share our ideas together. So I have a question here from Patrick. Did it make it possible for people who normally wouldn't have been able to participate to study? Yes, of course, it changed everything. Before COVID struck worldwide, in order to study abroad, in order to go to Chichester College, you would have to think of a flight, you would have to think of accommodation, you would have to think of a meal plan, you would have to think of the course of studies. And many more people were able to do this Chichester Virtual College because they didn't have to think of all the extra costs about the plane tickets, about the accommodation, and just focus on having the experience there online and safe. That's the most important thing. Everything we do is to keep people safe and not taking any risks and chances, and still being able to provide everyone with the same things. Of course, it has been difficult. At the beginning, we thought, okay, we do everything with people. So if we cannot meet people, what are we going to do? So at the beginning, it was as if there was a storm, and you found leaks in your house, and you had to think, okay, what shall I do? Shall I put a bucket under the drops that I don't know? And then we started thinking of all the silver lining behind this, and everything that we would be able to do, like meeting students from Peru and Argentina, from Shanghai and Uruguay. The students didn't have to go anywhere. They just had to be able to sit in front of their computer for 1 hour or so and just be there and interact and take profit from the interaction. And that has been fantastic. Well, for me, I used to travel a lot, and I used to visit all these Anglia centers in Argentina and in different Latin American countries. And well, as I mentioned at the beginning, I have a 3-year-old son, I have a husband, I have a home. And if I had to still go there, I wouldn't have been able to care for my family and be there with them in these very difficult times. So this thing that Anglia did, that to turn everything online allowed me to stay safe, take care of my family, and still be able to do exactly the same. We have been doing online exams since March. We have been doing speaking exams via Skype, Zoom, Meet, you name it. If there is an app, we have it. And I think that's super important today because we still can give access to people to their international qualifications, because we know someday this will be over. We will go to the new normal life, and people will still need to have their paper certifying that they know English if they want to study abroad, if they want to get a better job, you name it. I don't know if there are questions from the audience, but I want you to tell me what you think, to ask me about different things. I don't know if we have people who are attending virtual courses, how this has been for them. For me personally, I didn't used to have time to do anything. I used to go from home to work to the office and then get on a plane and go to, I don't know, Asuncion in Paraguay and visit many schools and then come back. And I didn't have much time to do more things than to just focus on my work. And now I realized that there was a point during the lockdown that I said, okay, I have to be at work at 9. I don't have to take the bus anywhere. I don't have to actually go to the office. What can I do with this extra time? And I started taking up courses, online courses. I could do them while I was helping my son with homework. I could do them while I was, I don't know, doing something else. So this extra time, the commuting time that I didn't have anymore, I started to making use of the most of it and try to get the best of the situation. It doesn't change the quality of the instruction, because the exam is exactly the same. If you're talking about exams, it's exactly the same as it is on paper, but on screen, exactly the same. And about the course, you would have seen the same teachers as you did in Teachers College, but through a screen instead of face-to-face. So the quality never changed. It didn't change at all. And in fact, I am an Anglia examiner as well. I had to, before the pandemic, I used to sit in front of a student and ask him questions and interact with them to test their speaking level of English. And now I do exactly the same through a computer. So it didn't change at all. So another thing that has come to my mind when I was getting ready for this presentation is how are things going to be afterwards? Do you think we're going to go back exactly the same as it was in 2019? I don't think so at all. I think we have learned a lot from communication. I think we have learned from social relationships. I think we have getting closer to those who were far away. I think when we come back to the new normality in the future, I think we will find a balance between what we're having right now and what we used to have. Of course, we are human beings. We need contact with other people, but I think we will manage to blend this virtual reality with the social contact. I think that's where we're going. I think we're going to have much more online conferences. I think people who we used to see just on the stage are much closer to us now, and we're going to be able to see much more because we have been in everyone's living rooms so far. A lot of people have met my son, and I've seen the books that many speakers have in their bookcases just because they have broadcasted from their homes. So I think we will find a balance between those two different realities at some point in the future. How many more students have you served compared to pre-pandemic? Oof, many more. We've offered all Anglia centers and all Anglia members different meetings and different encounters and different intercultural exchanges. So it means that what I couldn't do before, because I had the idea of doing it before, but bringing students from one country to another costs money, and me going there to a school to teach a group of teachers how to implement the exams or to do an academic presentation would mean that I would actually have to go there. And now I've reached so many more places, and many institutions who were only used to doing things in paper are now turning online and have realized that they can still provide their students with an international qualification through the computer. So we are having more and more people interested in our examinations than we used to have before. So more, yeah. I don't know how much more. I haven't drawn the numbers, but the figure is quite high. Yeah. I think that nothing beats the experience of going to another place and to visit and to see and to, well, because we offer, when our students travel to Chichester, they stay at family homes. So this interaction that you get from sleeping in the house of a true British family is something that you cannot learn from any book. But there are also so many people who don't have the possibility of paying for a plane ticket and traveling to the place itself. So I think, as I said, it will be something blended. We would still offer the flight and the trip to Chichester College, but probably the courses from Chichester College will be available for those who are not able to travel because of cost, because of, I don't know, mobility, because of time. I don't know, there are some jobs who don't give weeks off for people to travel, even if it is for study. But I think it's an option to still offer the courses online for those who cannot travel, but I highly recommend that you do, because the experience is amazing. Is there anything better about virtual instruction? I'm thinking, because I've never thought of that. I think the tools that are able, well, yesterday Justin was talking about how he would have needed someone else to help him do presentations, and now he's able to do them on his own because of the things that are available in the computer. I think it is about the tools that are available there. It's different when you have the possibility of making up worksheets and you don't depend on a piece of paper and just the blackboard and chalk. I mean, teachers can do magic with a blackboard and a piece of chalk, even just being themselves. But there are many tools which have been fantastic for teaching nowadays. So yeah, and I think they will stay. And I think, yeah, people will use them, definitely. Has Anglia tried to do a virtual exchange with host families in the UK and participants in addition to the courses? Well, it was part of the social program. Alongside the academic program, part of the virtual will have dinner, for example, with the host family and exchange ideas about the food and the traditions. And host families were part of the social part of the virtual program. Yeah, we try to bring the whole experience together. I know you cannot smell chicken curry through the computer yet, but I think the experience has been good. People are very satisfied. And we had more or less the same number of people. We used to bring, we have two different group trips in July and in January. And well, this virtual course has been July and August. So we had 2 full months instead of having 4 weeks. And we usually bring 50, 60 people from all over Latin America to Chichester. And we've had more or less the same number of families interacting during those 2 months. I don't know what will happen in January. The virtual course will be available, I think, but in January, I think everything will be open again, at least the colleges. The lessons and the classes have returned to normality since the 7th of September, if I'm correct. What about the teachers? Well, teachers are the true heroes. Teachers and children are the true heroes in this COVID-19 situation. Teachers have had to change everything. They've had to learn how to record themselves teaching lessons to give their students. They've had to open up accounts in different platforms and use WhatsApp to communicate with parents, when usually it was just one PTA meeting a year or two. Now parents are there next to their children, and they are actually monitoring teachers' work on a daily basis. And I think they have done an amazing job to throw all the content that they used to do in the classroom to the screen, and to be able to do so, I think it demanded lots and lots of planning hours and creativity and imagination. And apart from that, all the hours that they actually spend in front of the computer, that we spend in front of the computer. Don't forget, I'm also a teacher, actually interacting with our student, and how the timing of the lessons has changed. Remember when you went to school? You went to school, you did a test, and then you went home, and maybe you didn't have that subject until next Tuesday. So you had 4 or 5 days, and when you saw the teacher again, hi, miss, did you mark tests? Now it's immediate, and the students do an activity, and it takes, I don't know how many seconds to type a WhatsApp text. Miss, did you check the exercise? Miss, did you see my note? Did you mark my paper? Did you grade my? And it's very, very, very demanding for teachers to be able to keep everything in place, to stop with the anxiety of some students. That's when I mean they are the true heroes in this. I think after everything has passed, I think they deserve I don't know, another year of holidays probably. And they have been doing everything for the same little, I think, amount of money they used to get when they went actually to the classroom. So yeah, for the teachers, they had to create everything ready. What other types of experiences were part of the social exchange? They visited places they would have gone to. If they had been to the college, they would have visited the surroundings. They would have had karaoke nights. They would have had quiz quiz pub nights. So instead of having maybe board games or karaoke in the lounge of the college, they would do it via Zoom. They try to have the entertainment as well as the learning part covered. What is the investment for a student to go to the UK besides visa and flight tickets? Well, I don't have I have rough numbers because every program is different. If you go for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, or if you go to do the teacher's course, or if you go to do the student's course, or if you want to do summer Anglia, or if you want to go in January, you can do 15-hour program per week, 15-hour per week program, or 21-hour. But roughly goes between $2,000 to $4,000, including accommodation, meal plan, course of studies, material that you need for the course, a weekend away in neighboring cities, maybe going to the theater. Everything is included in that package, leaving aside the flight and the visa if needed. The teacher training program. Well, that's fantastic. The teacher training program is it's a course. It lasts for 2 weeks for international teachers of English, and they have lessons in the morning and in the afternoon. They do material design. They learn how to use different tools to create their own activities. They learn how to grade according to the Anglia parameters, so they become really proficient in grading the Anglia mock exams, the papers. They do a lot on CLIL. I don't know if you've heard of CLIL. It's Content and Language Integrated Learning. It's something very trendy. It has been going on for the last couple of years. The idea is not to teach English itself, but to use English to teach different subjects. So you would have a biology lesson in English, you would have a math lesson in English, music, art. I don't know. If you think of it, you have it. It's using English as a means to learning different subjects, and there is a CLIL-based lesson in the teacher's course as well. What else? They get to go to actual classes from the UK, and they can do teacher peer observation. They can watch a teacher deliver a lesson, and they can comment on that and work on the feedback and give suggestions and plan their lessons and teach actual students. And as it is international, it's very nutritional, I would say, because you have teachers from different parts of the world who probably haven't thought of something that the teacher next to them has been doing for the past years. So you have a teacher from South Korea, for example, who's doing something that really works, and me in Argentina have never thought of that. So it's really good to share these experiences, and you can come out of the course with lots of ideas and creative activities. And at the end of the course, you can sit an Anglia exam that we have for teachers, that is a certificate for international teachers of English. So you come home with an international exam that says that, well, you have done great, and you have one more thing to put in your CV, in your resume. So that's good. And besides all that, there's the social part, of course, of being with teachers from different places, not just learning and teaching in a feedback form, but also to socialize, to get to know them, and to gain to have a relationship that can last after the trip is over. How many teaching hours do they have to receive the certificate? It's not a teacher's course that you have to do actual teaching and do hours to get the certificate. The certificate for International Teachers of English is accepted in some places as proof of qualification to teach. For example, in Mexico, in Ecuador as well. Where else? In Spain, in some districts, because it means that you can actually do it. You have the level of English, you have the pedagogy, you have the means to teach. But sometimes in the different countries and the different regions, it depends on how many teachers and how many students they have. If you have many teachers and you have fewer students, they are going to be quite picky about what they accept and what they don't. If they have lots of students to cover and they don't have enough teachers, they are going to train those people, those who know a bit of English, into the pedagogy. And that's where the Sept exam, the certificate of Anglia, comes into place, because it's a quick way of making sure that you know what you're doing. I don't know if I'm making myself clear, or would you like me to expand on that? But I invite everyone who is interested in knowing more about this to come see me at the Anglia booth, and I'll be happy to give you literature and more information on the Sept exam, or on the trip, or on the course, whatever. I have all the info there. So yeah, you can have it just one click away. Can you do that program virtually from anywhere in the world? Yes, it doesn't matter where you're based from. You can do anything that Anglia offers from wherever you are. In fact, we operate in Latin America and Spain, and we have recently had a teacher who is actually from Colombia, but now he lives in Canada. And he said, can I still use the Anglia exams with my students from Canada? Sure, of course. There's no problem. Anglia is everywhere, and you can take it, and you can travel to UK. Doesn't matter where you're from, and if the course is offered virtually, of course you can attend it from whenever you are. Of course, the virtual cannot replace the real life experience, but for those students who can rather access to virtual experience, students get the same. Yes, they do. They get the same certificate. The cost difference. You mean the certificate for the one they get to in Chichester? Okay. So if a student goes to Teachers College and does the 15-hour or the 21-hour course, at the end they can sit an Anglia exam. What level they are going to do depends on the level they are in, they are operating. So before traveling, what we do is have the student do a placement test to see what level they are in, and they work on that level. So for example, you bring 10 of your students to Chichester, and they are from different levels. They would never be in the same room doing the same course. We have different courses according to your level of English. So that's good, because you don't need to be very proficient in the English language to actually go to Chichester to study. You can have beginner's level, you can be pre-intermediate, you can be intermediate, you can be a proficient speaker, and you still find something in Chichester to do. And at the end of the course, you are going to do the Anglia exam of the level you are in. And that's exactly the same Anglia exam that you would be able to take in Bolivia, in Canada, in Italy, in Cyprus, whatever. It's the same, because Chichester is the home of Anglia exams, and we use the same qualifications. The difference is that you probably would do a higher level than the one you had when you first entered the course. So in 2, 3, or 4 weeks, you would have like an intensive course that you wouldn't be able to do back home, because no one would go to an English school for 15 hours a week to learn more English if you have other things to do, like going to school or work. So it's like an intensive course in English language, and you can take the exam afterwards. Have I made myself clear? Well, the virtual learning is new. It's the first year we've offered because people haven't been able to go to the college, and since it was cheaper than actually going to college, we haven't had any requests for scholarships. But Chichester College is a state-run college, and it's usually quite cheap, so it's very accessible and affordable for everyone. What we do offer are scholarships for our exams. If you explain your situation, Chichester usually offers half scholarships, and we as an organization usually give out a contest or have competitions among students for them to win a full scholarship or a half scholarship. And if you attend our different conferences, we usually there is a draw at the end of the conference and the congress, and usually the prize is a 2-week course in Chichester or 5 Anglia exams for your students. So we try to make them affordable and accessible to everyone, and we are of course open to every single situation. So if you explain what's your specific case, we'll probably be able to do something for you. I think blended English learning will I think it will make lessons with the teacher much richer when it comes to interaction. I don't think students will be in the classroom writing compositions or doing exercises. I think that will be for the virtual environment. I think the platforms to hold the different things will still work, and I think the meeting between the student and their teacher and the students themselves is going to be just to be there, to share their ideas, to come up with different things, and not just being there the recipients of the knowledge. I think teachers can still record their videos teaching the lessons for the students to do asynchronous. I don't know what's the word when they are not online to learn outside the classroom, and just to have the hour of the English lesson to actually talk about meaningful things, not just learning how to use the present simple tense, for example. Multiple program options. Probably. I think that every possible scenario that we can think of will be available in the next few months and years. I think we will have everything that we used to have, plus everything new, plus things that maybe can occur to someone in the middle. That's a very good question, Beatrice. Um, I was already practicing the idea of virtual classroom when teaching online, but with only few students, with only those who live far away, or with those who cannot who don't have time to actually go to the school. But I think it's not the same. This is just coming to my mind. It's not the same online lesson than virtual classroom. I think your choice of words is fantastic, because it's like we are moving the classroom to the virtuality, and some teachers are doing exactly the same that they did. They spoke to their students, the students listened, and then they did page 85 from their workbook. I think some things have to be still learned from that. Cultural diversities. Well, we're learning a lot from cultural diversities, and I don't know. We've always paid attention to cultural diversity. Even before this, we usually, when I said at the beginning, the think global, act local, I think we've always taken into account the cultural of the person we have in front of us. Maybe you can expand a bit more on what you mean. Maybe I'm missing the point, or maybe I'm answering a question you haven't asked. Well, not as much as I thought it would have been. I thought maybe students wouldn't have been able to get online and to do their classes normally, but I found that almost everyone, well, as the people from Education USA were saying before, everyone has a smartphone nowadays. And even though if they don't have a computer or Wi-Fi connection, they have mobile data, and they can still use it to access their lessons and their education. So I think it's not a problem, at least in the places where I'm usually working. I know there are places where they have lots of internet problems and they are not able. Even if in the city of Buenos Aires, where I'm based, there are students who haven't been able to access education because of lack of connectivity. But I think it's only like 5 or 10% of the population. I don't think it's that high, but it's still a problem. There are people who are not getting education because of connectivity. Okay, what specific things do you do to help support cultural contact in Chichester? Well, we try to let people know about everything that's been going on in different places, and when we bring people together, we talk about their lives in their homes, and well, we try to respect everything. For example, this is this is something very particular from Argentina. There are some provinces in Argentina, and this is just an example. There are some provinces where people tend to do siestas. There is no English word. It's like a long nap after you have lunch, usually between 2 and 4 p.m. And in some provinces, part of their culture is taking a nap after lunch. And paying attention to cultural reality is that you're not going to schedule a lesson or an exam any day at 3 p.m. because people are not going to respond, and it's paying attention to their reality. Like I don't know, it's something like religious to them. Where I come from, it's like that too. I'm from the middle of Buenos Aires province, from a small town. If you have a language school and you put a lesson at 2 p.m., you probably won't have more than 1 or 2 students, and that's paying attention to cultural reality. And we try to do that for every single place we are in. That's what I mean when paying attention to cultural reality. Helping people to get over intercultural barriers. How do you prepare the students who go abroad? Well, they have a meeting before going to the actual study trip. They get to know each other, and we do a weekend before going to England. They do a weekend in Spain, and they spend a weekend in Madrid getting to know each other before going to their host families, before starting the course. So they already know someone who is in the same group as they are. Apart from that, as people who travel are usually from our Anglia centers, they have been having an idea of what they are going to see there and what Chichester is like. And we talk to their parents, if they are underage, about the safety of the place and the transport and what the city is like and what they can and can't do because of the law. And that's more or less what we do. Yes, Beatriz. Well, what happens in Chichester is that they enter in a kind of symbiosis, and each of them accommodates to some. They are all foreigners, and they each bring their own individuality, and they try to share that and pay attention to that within the group, and to share with the actual people from the college. But in the virtual classrooms, I still feel the diversities, but not so much, because you're not with the people all the time. So if they are wearing pajama bottoms, I cannot tell. So I cannot tell if they want to take a nap, if they are tired, because I only see their faces. But I try to ask them and interact with them as much as possible about what they feel, and if they are okay with this, and if they want to change that, and pay attention to these different realities. I really miss my nap after lunch. I cannot do it anymore here. Funny story to share. Let me think. No, not right now, but I will think of one and be waiting for you in my booth for anyone who wants to listen. But I will have to think of a funny story to share. I'm sure I have many anecdotes that have gone to the normal part of my brain, and now I don't consider them funny anymore, but I consider them just regular anecdotes.
Did you, hi everybody. Estefania, did you study in Chichester?
No.
Have you done any homestays with people?
Sorry?
Have you
Any
done
what?
any homestays with people?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that like? Tell us about that.
Well, I could spend, I don't know, I've been a month with a British family, and it wasn't so different from my family because it was just a normal family. I didn't know what to expect. Maybe it was kind of like a Home Alone film with Kevin McAllister, and I went there for Christmas and I stayed until February. And I was hoping like the big Christmas tree and everyone wearing all red and green. And I just found out they were a normal family, and they went to do the errands, and they went to the supermarket, and they paid for the tickets to park their cars. Um, but at the same time, um, the Christmas thing from Latin America and Britain is different. You learn different things that for them are normal, and for me, like the fact of sending cards. Do you send cards where they are based? Where you're based? Well,
So
for
we
you, for
we
example, Patrick, do you
we
send Christmas
used to
cards?
we used to, although I've never sent a Christmas card, although probably the Americans that are listening are like, oh, you never sent a Christmas card. But it depends a little bit. If you have a family, sometimes you'll do that. And I invite anyone who's listening, what are your, do you send Christmas cards, and how was Christmas celebrated? You can post that to the stage if you want. But how was it different between you and in Latin America and in Britain?
Well, we are used to just putting up the Christmas tree, and then on the 24th evening, at the stroke of midnight, the Christmas presents appear. It's
Hmm.
like Santa comes at 12 and he drops off the presents, and we in Argentina, the children, stay up until midnight to open the presents at that very moment. And there, no, they go to bed at 8 as a normal day, and next morning is Christmas. For me, Christmas morning was the most boring mornings of all, because the presents had been opened, you already knew what you got, and you slept until 2 p.m. I don't know if you went out dancing. Christmas morning never didn't matter, and you used to eat what was left over from Christmas evening, from Christmas Eve dinner. And there they went to bed, and the excitement was getting up in the morning and finding the presents and all the Christmas cards, hanging from the tree. That was wow. Like, why don't you stay up and open the presents at 12? No, because you open them on Christmas Day. So that was
I
different.
had an experience in Venezuela. I happened to be in Venezuela over Christmas one time, and there was no one I could talk to or hang out with because everyone was with their families. So I went to a city called Maracay, and I spent the night in a hostel there, and it was the worst night of my life because I was in a hammock outside, and fireworks were going off. And I'm like, why are you guys setting off fireworks? I'm trying to go to sleep here. And everybody's laughing and celebrating. My Spanish wasn't very good. So I was embarrassed, and they're all dressed up, and I'm like in my ratty travel clothes, and just like fireworks keep going off. And I was like, can't you guys get get drunk and go to sleep or something? I don't know. So if
The dressing up as well, yeah. Christmas week is like the pajama week in the UK. Everyone stays in with comfy clothes, and on the 24th of December, I used to wear a new dress and put on makeup and go out. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's like a party. It's like your own private family party.
Estefania, thank you so much for the information about Anglia exams and the stories you're sharing about your life and experiences. Everybody, in just a couple of minutes, in fact, it just happened right now, the expo booths and the networking is live. So if you want to be matched with a random person in the conference, go over to the networking area and see who pops up on your screen. And then if you want to talk to Estefania a little bit, she'll be over in her booth in just a second, in about a minute after we stop going live. This will be recorded, so later you can access this later, as well as the transcript of it. And we want to remind you to just keep your browser open and explore a little bit. When you have a free moment, you can come back and explore the conference, kind of see who's going on there. You don't really have to leave, just mute the sound, and you can come back at any time. We'll be here until Saturday morning. So Saturday morning in the Western Hemisphere anyway. And let's see, I think that's, in an hour, we'll be hearing from Beatrice Nas Aching, and from Kampala, Uganda. We just checked in with her earlier, and she's getting her equipment set up. She's going to talk a little bit about how her experiences in inviting people into her community to help her with her community development work, and how that's changed as a result of the pandemic. So that's going to be amazing. Please share on Facebook and come back and check that out. And thanks for participating, and we'll see you in an hour or so.
I'll be hanging out at my booth, and then I'll be back to see Beatrice.
Bye now.